Good morning, everybody. Well, another interesting week here in Israel. And as we prepare for Shabbat, everybody is kind of sitting here and wondering when, not if, but when Iran will respond and retaliate. And it's concerning. And there's a lot of fear and anxiety of the unknown. But as always, we can take some strength from this week's Torah portion. You know, the Torah goes into incredible detail describing the 42 journeys, the 42 stops that the Jewish people make during the 40 years that they're traveling in the desert. And why is it necessary for the Torah to go into such great detail and to describe these stops in these places? And the answer is because in each and every one of these places, there was tremendous peril, danger. The Jewish people were at risk for one reason or another. And Hashem saved the Jewish people in every one of those moments, in every one of those experiences of the unknown. Traveling for 40 years in the desert, unknown, not knowing where they were going to be next, what enemies they were going to experience, but what dangers were lurking around the corner. And yet Hashem took care of the Jewish people. He gave them strength. He protected them. And we look at that and we understand that that's always been the story of the Jewish people. There have been horrible, horrible times in the 2,000 years that we experienced exile, and since we've been back in the land of Israel, some very, very scary moments. But we know that Hashem is always protecting us and looking out for us, and we have to have that strength and that courage to face the difficult moments like the one that we're in right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how Iran is going to respond to the latest assassination of the leader of Hamas, but we do know that whatever happens, Hashem is going to protect us and is going to keep us safe. And we have that emunah. Now, we can also draw a very important lesson from our Torah portion that we can't just sit around with that faith and with that emunah and think that everything is going to be great. We have to make serious efforts, and not just the government and not just the soldiers, but every single one of us. Every single Jewish person has to be involved in this war effort in one way or another. When the tribes, 2.5 tribes of the Jewish people, come to Moses and they say, you know what? We're actually pretty comfortable over here on the eastern side of the Jordan River. We actually prefer not to cross over into the land of Israel and have an inheritance over there. Moshe hears this and he's very angry. And he says to them, what, you guys are going to sit here while the rest of your brothers go to war? Your brothers and sisters are about to go to war. They're about to cross the land, cross the river and go into the land of Canaan. And they're going to fight battles there against the 7 Canaanite nations. And you're planning on just sitting here and plowing your fields and making a living and worrying about your family and not doing anything and not fighting in the war and not playing a role? Now, obviously, Moshe is not suggesting that every single one of them, every man, woman, and child has to go out and fight in this battle. But what he's saying is that no Jewish person is exempt from being part of the effort. So every single one of us, because most of us are not soldiers. No one's going to give me a gun and an army uniform. That would not be a good idea. But we all have to think about how we can be soldiers in this army, how we can play a role. What is our contribution that we can make to keep the Jewish people safe during this very major, serious time of anxiety and unknown? So on one hand, we look at the Parsha and we know that Hashem has always protected the Jewish people, and He will continue to do so because we are a unique nation that has a special role in this world of being a light unto the nations and bringing godliness into the world. And yet at the same time, we also understand that we can't sit back and do nothing and just expect Hashem to protect us and save us. We all have to play a role in this effort. What am I going to do? How am I going to contribute to the future of the Jewish people and to the success and to the ultimate safety of Am Yisrael right now during this time? Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalaim.